Ooh, I don't do a lot of lives like this. But maybe I should. Maybe I should do that more. Alright. We have... Wine reds. Yeah. How's it going? I literally just started streaming, so did you hear me? That I was streaming? What are you streaming? I'm just streaming seed starting. Oh, but I can see. Yes, if you want. I've not really done much. Am I gonna be in the video? You can dodge the video if you want.
Are you live streaming?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, you haven't really started yet.
No, I literally just got soiled on the thing. So.
Have fun.
I thought you were gaming. Have fun.
I am gaming. I just wanted to see. I thought maybe you had already planted. I thought you were streaming upstairs.
No, I am streaming while I plant. So. Have fun. He's very careful to avoid making a cameo. Mostly because he does not want to be on YouTube. And I really can't blame him. Not everybody should necessarily want to do that, but yeah. So what am I doing right now? I am getting the garden ready. I am going to be planting some seeds for the planting season, and I just have not gotten around to doing it yet. So I figured, why not stream while doing that? So hopefully, I don't know if anybody wants to tune in and chat while I garden. If anybody wants to dissociate with me for a while, definitely go for it. That's fine with me. Let's see, All right, so we're gonna have pears. Hello, hello. Yellow pears. We're going to have cherry tomatoes. I need to think about what kind of sweet cherry tomatoes. Hello, hello, everyone. We are doing sweet cherry tomatoes. We are doing sun-sweet cherry tomatoes. We are doing sun-sweet cherries, and then we are going to be, did I write down? Okay, I wrote that down. I have 2 new tomato varieties that I'm doing this year. One of them being our Brandywine Yellow tomatoes. Brandywine Yellow tomatoes. I got them from Michigan Gardener Heirloom Seeds over in Port Huron. I'm pretty excited. Shameless self-promotion for them, because they seemed pretty cool when I got seeds over there. Another tomato I'm going to be growing this year. Hi, Sebi, how are you? Is Ukrainian purple tomatoes. I think I've tasted these before, but I've never grown them before, so I'm hoping maybe this year I'll try something new. Why not? This is my planting station, so I'm going to be just using this as my planting station. P.S. everybody tuning in, I don't typically make this kind of content. I just felt like streaming today, so I guess bear with me. This is just mostly for fun. Mostly for fun. So let's see. I didn't write down the Ukrainian cherry, or yeah, are those purple? Ukrainian purple. And then the other variety was Brandywine Yellows. Brandywine Yellows. I have all the windows open today because here in Michigan, it is actually like 70 degrees today and it feels really great. So I figured, why not? I bought these trays off the TikTok shop. These are trays that have like little domes that go on them where you can like insert lights, like grow lights. So I'm hoping that that will actually, I don't know, make the seeds grow efficiently. So that's gonna be good. I'm pretty excited to see how this turns out. I guess every year my goal is to just be more efficient with gardening, if at all possible. So, all right. So I think we're gonna go with the. I'm gonna do the Roma tomatoes first. And this little thingy like just pokes the holes in the seeds, or in the soil. Another thing I did, I may have shown this in my garden therapy series, but I do have like this sewing kit, but instead of sewing supplies, I actually put in like seeds. So it's like kind of like a little seed kit. I keep all of my seeds in here, which is pretty cool. Where are my tongs? There's a gardening tool for almost everything, which is pretty rad, not gonna lie. But no, keeping the seeds in these little compartments, I think, does a pretty good job. Keeping the seeds in these little compartments, I think, does a good job keeping them airtight and fresh. Because, well, believe it or not, seeds can go bad, right? You know, I recently had somebody ask me why I don't do streams like this more often. And I think it's because, I don't know, as a YouTuber over the years, I've developed this kind of like fixation on like making sure that my content is polished and ready to go when it meets the internet. And I am, as I get older, doing less and less spontaneousness. And I think I might start changing that. I think I might start doing more spontaneous streams. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I do not know. I think We're Stitching the Tapestry, the podcast that I did with Ari, was probably going to be the closest thing to spontaneity. Even though we did do a lot of preparation for it, so. All right, we got a row of Romas ready to go. Lagiacris, hello my friend, how are you? Lagi, this is not a typical stream. I am just planting seeds. I'm kind of using this as my motivation to actually get some stuff done, so we'll see if I actually am successful with that. So I have all of my seeds coated. I am obsessive with organization. So I have all of my seeds coated. V8. Perfect. All right. If I do not have a marker, I'm going to be really mad. I don't. I will use my pen. Okay, so I planted 5 Romas. I can plant more later if I feel like it's not enough. Hi, Loggy. It's okay. You've probably been, you know, busy and up to stuff lately. I have a variety of tomatoes that I'm planting today, some peppers. I'm going to be planting cucumbers, dill, and asparagus. And I also have seeds. It sounds strange, but I actually have seeds from... Where are they? Oh, Honeycrisp apples from my family's orchard. And I'm going to try to grow those and see if those sprout into trees. Lagiacris, how have you been lately? Been doing okay? Hopefully you've been doing well. So we got Roma tomatoes. That does not work. Hold that thought. I'm going to go find a marker. I think there's one down here somewhere. Interesting. I normally keep a marker in all of my stuff, but I cannot find a marker today. Well, I can kind of see what it says, so I will just go over it with a marker later. So, we have checked Roma tomatoes off the list. Mr. Metal, hello, how are you? You've been kind of a recluse recently. You know, sometimes you have to kind of withdraw a little bit, to preserve your mental health. Heaven knows, part of me has been kind of been wanting to do that lately too. I just have not done so. Alright, so we're gonna do Sunsweet tomatoes next. Sunsweet cherry tomatoes are probably some of my favorite tomatoes. They are so good. They are really good on salads. They're pretty refreshing, not gonna lie. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you. 4. And 5. All right. Mr. Metal, I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you. I am hanging in there. I have my moments. Lately, what I've been up to lately, I've just been working on some school stuff. I've been working on Growing Up with Godzilla a lot. I'm actually scheduled, I have recordings done all the way until April for Growing Up with Godzilla, so that's going to be great. So, Sun, Sweet, Cherry. Look at, I can barely read that. I need a marker. It's just ridiculous. Sun, Sweet, Cherry, but can barely read it. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate the compliment on my stream. Let's see. I kind of want to plant more than that, though. I feel like I should plant more than just... Alright, let's do Brandywine yellow tomatoes. I love yellow tomatoes a lot. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, that hole's a little too deep. Let's redo that. 5. I think I'm just gonna not use the tongs and just use my fingers because it's a little bit more expedient that way. How everybody always is like, what hobby do you use to kind of get away from things and to relax? Honestly, this is mine. This is absolutely mine. Hi Spire Talon. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? Let's see. Lagiakris, what is your opinion on mainstream slang? I actually have no problem with slang. I mean, if it's any words, any languages, if it's weaponized against somebody, then there's always an opportunity for discussion, but and some concern. But I think that slang always has a valid place. In fact, slang often sometimes can be the catalyst to change certain aspects of language. Language is always growing. It's this living, breathing being, and it's an extension, culturally speaking, of the ebbs and flows of any given particular culture, right? So I think slaying is valid. I'm doing all right. I'm a big fan of the Growing Up with Godzilla series. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I really enjoy doing the series. It's definitely a highlight for me. And it's just kind of like my little way of taking something I love, that being Godzilla, and turning it into something structured, I guess. Like I used to write fan fiction, that was like my structure, but now like the show seems to kind of be where I have settled. So, all right, so now we have Brandywine yellow tomatoes. Again, look at how horrible that. Goodness gracious me. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, all the seeds are going into the garden, and when they get growth on them, I'm gonna know what they are anyway. But still, it's irritating. Let's see. Lagiacris. Oh, Arpy's here. Hi, Arpy. Sorry, but I have to miss this. That's okay. Lagiacris, I need to catch up on Growing Up with Godzilla. When was the last? I can't remember like what the last episode was that you watched. There's been a few episodes so far this season. Spire Talon asks, I'm a Godzilla YouTuber and I would love to do a series like yours. Could you tell me what's the biggest piece of advice? Ooh, that's a very good question, actually. So, I think my biggest piece of advice is if you want to do like any type of structured series, you definitely want to like sit down and outline it. You want to outline it in the sense that you should draft up maybe what you think the structure of an episode may look like. You may want to establish what the goal is of the show. Like, is the goal just to have good old conversation about Godzilla, or is there a different goal? For Growing Up with Godzilla specifically, what I wanted to do, I wanted to do something that really hasn't been done extensively yet. Because there's so many great Godzilla podcasts out there, and I didn't necessarily want to step on the toes of other Godzilla podcasts. So I was like, I need to think of an angle. And the angle that I thought of was, well, why not talk about everyone's growing up experience and how Godzilla may have played a role in their growing up experience? So that kind of spiraled from there. I was able to kind of outline and create a structure. And then I initially, Growing Up with Godzilla was just going to be a show where I myself was doing the talking. But after a certain point, I realized that it would be a very short show if I just talked about my own experiences, because I realized that everyone has their story when it comes to being a Godzilla fan and their entry points as a Godzilla fan. So that was kind of the turning point for me where I was like, oh my God, I can really do something with this. And then I can kind of tap into guests. I've done a lot of networking in the fandom for like 20, 25 years. So I've known a lot of people and I knew that I'd be able to tap into a lot of guests. But if you do a show, it does not have to be like that. All right. Again, my biggest piece of advice would probably be to sit down, draft up what your vision would be for a podcast, and go from there. And if you have any ideas that you want to share with me and get some feedback on, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be happy to give you some feedback. And I'm always really eager to also support other people's podcasts too. So if you do one and you want someone to like share around stuff, hit me up, okay? Okay. So we did the Romas, we did the Sun Sweets, and we did the Brandywine yellow tomatoes. Now we're gonna do Brandywine reds. Let's see. So I do technically have Brandywine reds from before. However, I did buy some new ones from Michigan Gardener, so I think I might try these this year. Mr. Metal asks, what's your least favorite Godzilla design? Ooh. Let me think about that for a second. I mean, there isn't one that I like hate. Like I think I like all the Godzilla designs, but I would say the one that I really like the least probably would be the design in Godzilla Raids Again. I don't know, I just Godzilla in Gojira 1954 seemed very like terrifying to me, and there was like this slow lumbering gravity to the creature. But like in Godzilla Raids Again, because the design is a little bit more lean, like and because the motion is much more quickened in that film, like I really had a hard time connecting with that design, if that makes sense. So I will say though that design is scary in its own way. Like I recently rewatched Godzilla Raids Again, probably like maybe a year ago, and I was like, actually, this Godzilla design's a little scary. If I was like a kid watching that, I didn't end up watching Godzilla Raids Again until I was like in my early 20s. That was like one of the last Godzilla movies in the series that I finally was able to watch. Godzilla Kairu is here. Hey. Mr. Metal, what is your least favorite Godzilla design and why? I'm always curious to know. All right. Brandywine Reds. Brandywine red tomatoes are so good. They're like a thick sandwich tomato. Super delicious. Love them a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I just realized? I could use a dry erase marker. That way I could reuse these every year. You know? I could reuse them every year. Alright, so we have... Let me go grab a marker. A dry erase marker specifically. That's absolutely not going to work. That is too thick. That is too thick. Brandywine red. Brandywine red. Let's see. Favorite and least favorite Mothra designs. Ooh, my favorite Mothra design, I would have to say, is the design of Rainbow Mothra in Mothra 3. The sleek, the slicked back antennae. She looked a little bit more, or technically that Mothra goes by he. So he is very slim and like almost a little bit more intimidating looking, and I really liked that Mothra design. My other favorite Mothra design is probably Tokyo SOS is number 2, and then my third favorite would probably be MonsterVerse Mothra. I love the design for MonsterVerse Mothra. Least favorite Mothra design. Oh my goodness. GMK Mothra is not my favorite design. I really appreciate it, and I think that it is unique, and I applaud the experimentation of the design. I think she looks too much like a mosquito to me. But still love GMK Mothra. Absolutely. How about yours? Mr. Metal says, probably the one from Son of Godzilla. It looks really ugly. Yeah, the one from, like, if I were to pick, like, a second least favorite design of Godzilla, it would probably be that one. Probably, yeah. Good questions. All right, Brandywine Reds. We got those. Do 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 do. Oh, what am I doing? I did this. No, I didn't do that yet. Sunsweet. But I have not done the sweetie. I need to relabel these. I have a little journal that I use for gardening to keep track of my stuff. Let's see. Godzilla Kyra, how's your writing coming along? Not as well as I would like. I would like to get more writing done, but I've just been really busy with school lately, and I've just not had a chance to get any writing done. I've been writing poems. I've been getting like a lot of that stuff done. Rose 5, Sunsweet Cherries 5. We have Brandywine Yellows 5, and then Brandywine Reds 5. All right. Tricky, since I don't hate or dislike. Well, maybe let's not think of it as hating or disliking, because truthfully, I don't hate or dislike any of them myself. What would be, maybe instead of that wording, what would be like your least favorite? Because we all have like a spectrum of favorites, right? Godzilla Kyra, how is your writing coming along? These sweetie cherry tomatoes are like kind of like the traditional regular cherry tomato. 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of worried about these seeds because they don't look that good. 4, 5. I think I'm gonna double these up. Just in case they don't grow. I do that sometimes when I'm a little bit worried they might not grow. Alright. So that would be the sweetie cherry tomatoes. Sweetie. Okay. Think what I might have to do in the future. Start getting like stickers to go on these or something. All right. My absolute favorite tomato. Okay, I did say that the Sunsweets are my favorite. Actually, my favorite tomatoes are yellow pear tomatoes. They are so good. So good. There was like 2 or 3 years I could not find yellow pear tomatoes, and it was so frustrating for me. It was so irritating. Oh, I didn't put these back. Honestly, I really think somebody asked me today, like, why do you garden? Like, why bother? Because I enjoy doing it, number one. Number two, it's kind of like a family tradition. And number three, I would say, with the cost of groceries going up, and produce specifically, I think gardening is actually a really good skill to have to kind of grow your own food. So, All right, let's see here. Okay. Godzilla Kairu is pretty good, working on the second draft of a Godzilla story, second part of a 4-parter, and the third of a Gamera story. Nice! Good. Very good diversity there. Lagi says Meyer Goji and Evolved Barbenheimer Goji are definitely my favorites. The aesthetics just fit. Mothra, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe Heisei for favorite. Least favorite for both. Maybe the Showa ones. Okay, that's fair. That is totally fair. Mr. Metal thinks that Gamera deserves more love, to be honest. I agree. Didn't the institution behind Gamera just release a promotion video celebrating Gamera's 60th anniversary? I think 2025 is Gamera's 60th anniversary, right? That is amazing. I will admit, I am a Gamera fan. I am a little bit more biased for the Heisei Gamera trilogy and Gamera the Brave. Showa Gamera, as much as I know people do love it, and I think it should be loved, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. All right, so we got yellow pear tomatoes planted. Yellow pears. Okay, I got that marked. Yellow pear tomato. Beautiful. Lagiacris asks, what did you guys think of Gamera Rebirth? I've not watched all of it. I've only watched maybe the first 2 episodes. I need to go back and rewatch it. But what I did watch, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. I really do think that Gamera deserves way more love than it usually gets. These can get set right there. Do I have any other tomatoes to plant? I don't think so. A Rutgers tomato. I don't remember these. Those seeds don't look good. Suppose it doesn't hurt to try to plant them, right? A Rutgers tomato. Do you know what I'm really preparing for mentally? I'm preparing for my garden out there to have a crap ton of tomato plants just sprout up from just the soil from last year, because I wasn't able to harvest all of the tomatoes, so some of them fell and they probably went to seed, because last year I had 200 tomato plants go to seed. It was kind of wild. And I think this year I might do a little roadside plant sale to, if I have an excess, sell some of those plants. And I'm probably going to use that money for our wedding on November 1st, so I'll get to your comments in just a second. I gotta write this down before I forget. So we have Rutgers tomato. I don't remember the Rutgers tomato. Rutgers tomato. 5. Mr. Metal says Gamera Rebirth is really good. The animation, the human characters could be better in my opinion. That's a fair criticism. Godzilla Kairu says, also, I did another poem this time about Kiru, and I put it on Kaiju Galaxy. Don't know if you've seen it yet, Donnie. I will have to go look. I've not logged in on Kaiju Galaxy in a week or two, so I'm gonna have to go look. But I would love to read it. And then Lagiakra says, I predicted a plot twist in it because one of the English dub actors. Okay, that's fair. I appreciate you censoring what it is so you don't spoil anything for little old me. All right. So we got that batch of tomatoes done, and I think the only other one I got to do would be the Ukrainian purple tomatoes. And then I will have an entire flat of seeds planted. And I think in another flat I might do, because I have like 3 of these trays. I have 4. I think in another one I might do like another batch of tomatoes. Because I'm also planting seeds for some other people, like my parents, for example. All right, so we have Ukrainian purple tomatoes. Oh, I forgot to poke my holes here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So do you think I should do more streams like this, everyone? What do you think? Or at least just more streams where I'm having, even if I'm just talking about Godzilla, because I know everybody really wants me to chat about Godzilla. Which, well, you know me, I happily will do that all the time. So, can we have those ones? Alright, so. You should put more soil here. So it was a little low on soil. Alright, so that was Ukrainian. Ukrainian purple tomato. Hopefully this fits. Taylor's here. Taylor, did you lose power? The storms must have been really bad. I was out last night and I did not hear anything, but apparently we got some huge thunderstorms here in Michigan. It was kind of wild. Okay, so let me make sure that so these are the trays I was talking about. So it has like little LED lights that go on the top, like little aeration ports here, and it just fits over. Oh, and it fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. I'm really excited. Super stoked. Okay. Super stoked. I'm only going to be streaming for probably another 5 minutes or so because I do need to get this done. But I did have a lot of fun doing this, and I think I should do it more. In theory, I should. How does that go in? It's like those don't want to go in. Okay. I think that's how it works. Ooh, I'm trying to get the little spinny things in. It's a little more tricky than I thought. There we go. There we go. Godzilla Care, I will definitely be uploading some of my artwork to Kaiju Galaxy. I really need to get Kaiju Galaxy more active, don't I? I really do. It's gonna happen. I miss it. I do miss the message board days. You know, I know, like, I literally spend a lot of time in growing up with Godzilla talking about, like, the message board days because they were just so They were a vibe. If anybody can remember them way back when, they were an absolute vibe. I'm not saying that social media has kind of like killed the vibe, because I think social media has actually made more access for people. But I feel like message boards really, there was a lot less pressure from what for at least in my own experience, there was a lot less pressure. So, well, my friends, I'm going to log off here, but I just wanted to stream for a while and to catch up and to show you what I'm doing with my gardening. I hope that you had fun. And I will talk to you soon. There is a new episode of Growing Up with Godzilla dropping tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kyle Yount, who is an icon in the Godzilla fandom, especially in regards to podcasting, is going to be joining me to have a conversation. So I do hope that you will check that out and join us. Otherwise, happy planting this season. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing the garden therapy series. Mostly because it is a lot of work when I really should be gardening. But I wanted to just hop on here and do this because I just thought it might be a little fun to show you a little bird's eye view into gardening. So I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.